Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX automatic. This car's covered 62,000 miles, finished with black with a full black leather interior. Very well looked after car, mechanically and cosmetically actually. So you go around the car for you. Front of the car's really clean, lights and lenses completely clear and intact. Front bumper very clean indeed, including bumper edges. Very few stone chips on this car. I mean, there will be something somewhere, but you have to look extraordinarily hard to find one, but I can't see anything immediately obvious. Then to come down the passenger side, near side of the car first, and it is lovely and smooth, and the panel work there. Near side front alloy, really good. I mean, that's the one that takes all the bashing, of course, and that one's come off very cleanly indeed. The remaining panels really nice. Near side rear alloy, again in beautiful condition. Just pan around there to see just how crisp those panels are. You come around the back of the car, again bumper corners generally very good indeed, as is the tailgate. And then to the driver's side, off side of the vehicle, and really smooth in the panel work. No obvious car part dinks or dents or anything like that at all. And offside rear alloy, again lovely condition. The remaining panel works absolutely fantastic. Final alloy, again absolutely beautiful. So externally the car's in really genuinely lovely condition. Coming to the boot area now, huge boots on the CR-Vs. That's lovely now on these later versions to get the little levers on either side there. Just to quickly fold the seats down. It's beautiful in actuation and beautifully engineered, and it's in fantastic condition back here. Just coming to the back now, big wide opening rear doors, and there you can see just how much legroom you get in the CR-Vs. I mean, they are massive in the back, and those seats are set for me in the front. I'm over 6 foot tall, so I haven't cheated by pushing them all the way forward. Leatherwork is in beautiful condition, and I stress that because unfortunately CR-Vs are family cars. That does mean a few of them can be quite bashed about in the back, but this one's been given the most gentle of lives. So coming to the front now, near side front door card, again all in really lovely condition. The front passenger seat, again as with the rear seats, is in really terrific condition. Finally, just to come into the driver's side, again door card absolutely beautiful, including all the little recesses. Driver's seat again, I mean it's obviously the only one's going to show any kind of wear, but for the age and mileage of the car it's far better than most you'll see. So sat inside the car now, engine's running for this section so the dashboard can actually be seen illuminated. The dashboard looks virtually factory fresh. It's in absolutely beautiful condition. See there, sat nav working exactly as it should. If I pop the car into reverse, get that lovely clear gridded parking camera as well, all working exactly as intended. But it really is fabulous in here, and the video will not do it justice in any way, shape or form. Come across the main dashboard binnacle, hopefully pan in there for you, and you can see 62,193 miles. And the only light showing is for a low fuel light currently on the car. There are no warning lights on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the vehicle, but it really is in absolutely super condition in here. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack and locking wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Last but not least, coming under the engine bay, which as with Honda is always beautifully presented. And what a joy to see an engine where you can actually see the engine. It's not covered in ridiculous plastic shrouds, which are a nightmare to get it on and off and just slow everything down. But a wonderful engine, cam chain driven, no cam belts. Right then, this is a road test video for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX automatic. This particular car is registered CE13MKL. And mileage is 62,186. The reason for doing the video is very simple. It's just so that anyone that's looking at this car online in an advert actually gets to see that very car in operation. We know that the distances people are willing to travel to us are vast this day and age, but that can be fraught with going to see a car which looks great in the description and the photos, only to get there and drive it to find out it's got a fundamental problem which you clearly should have been told about. So hence that's why we do it, and it is critical in that sense. Road test is also done on part of the road test route any prospective buyer would go on, so hopefully would then be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, it's been a very well looked after car, and I have to say it feels it straight away as soon as you drive the car. Engine starts absolutely instantly, of course, settles to a completely smooth, even idle, and it's just a fabulous engine in every single way. Worth pointing out, there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, aside from a low fuel light currently. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be, and the car's been running for well over an hour, so well up to operating temperature to say the least. But the engine's just a gem. It's a typical Honda, very smooth and willing to rev, very quiet on the move. It's just, mechanical and engineering integrity you can just feel within the engine, but it's a lovely unit. Cam chain driven, of course, so there's no cam belts to worry about on the Honda cars of this age and type. The engine then feeds through into the Honda automatic gearbox, and it's again a great gearbox, exactly how they should be. Very slick shifting, and very robust as well. I mean, these are, you know, known as being virtually indestructible in terms of in use, so you'd have to be very unlucky indeed, but you can literally put a foot down now, you can hardly feel the gears changing, and that's what you should be looking for on a gearbox of this type. Any kind of clunks, delays, thunks, you walk away from the car, but you just wouldn't have those issues with the Honda boxes in our personal experience of them. You can also change gear if you want to using these paddles, albeit it's hardly ever used in all honesty, but it is quite nice if you're going to do an overtake and want to zip by something but make sure the car's going to change up gear at the right time. Just pull the tab back on the left to change down, so third gear now, put my foot down, change up with the right one, fourth, fifth, and it does it all for you. Or you can do it yourself, and it instantly turns off once you've stopped using it, but just nice, and it's there and it works exactly as it should. Steering on the car, which has always been one of the strong points of these CR-Vs, because it's a lovely power steering setup. It's very precise and accurate, you know, probably far more so than you expect for a car this type. Follows faithfully wherever you want it to go. There's no vibrations at all coming back through the steering wheel at this speed, at any speed up to the legal limit. Also happens to track bullet straight. There's no sort of, it doesn't pull violently left or right. Obviously it'll follow the contour slightly to the left, as you'd expect, as the road dips away for drainage purposes, but it feels really accurate and just crisp in hand. Doesn't feel as though there's any wear in it at all. Just going to check the brakes, because I've got a kind of sharp braking point coming up. Leave it a little bit later than normal, give them a bit of a hard shove. But it's a nice brake pedal on the car, really solid, pulls it up nice and straight without going left or right, and the pedal exhibits no vibrations or pulsing, which would suggest obviously disc wear, but there's nothing on it at all. Chassis of the vehicle, coming back to that alongside the steering, just brilliantly done. Honda know this market so well, because the CR-V is the best selling SUV in the world. So what they give you is a lovely compromise between, you know, ride and body control through the corners. So it's very comfortable, very polished ride as you drive along, deals with minor imperfections really well. But when you go through the corners, quick ones, slow ones, medium ones, it's where it excels actually, because you get far less kind of body roll and motion and movement than you get in some competitors' cars, and that's really important for backseat passengers in particular. Worth pointing out, as I'm driving along, no nasty clunks coming from underneath the vehicle. That's normally innocent stuff like little anti-roll bars chattering away, but there's nothing at all on this vehicle. Looking around inside the car, which is yet to be cleaned, but is in just beautiful condition in here. As I say quite often on the CR-V videos, in fact pretty much all of them, I mean, the build quality is astonishing. There's not a hint of a rattle or a groan or a creak or a buzz or anything from the interior of the car. It's absolutely beautifully put together, and a lovely place to sit and drive a car. Great visibility, great driving position, and a dashboard that, whilst it's very highly equipped, doesn't phase at all in terms of, when you get in the car, it's very simple to just jump in and operate. So it's a wonderful car in that setup, in that way rather. Also, quality of the controls, the switch gear has a beautiful sort of damped feel to it. It's really beautifully done, and you just know that the switch gear is going to feel the same, look the same in hundreds of thousands of miles time. That's where Honda do it very well indeed. As you can see there, sat nav working perfectly, dual zone climate control system again working perfectly. I put it in a nice warm office prior to workshop prior to the test drive. Check the air conditioning on its low setting, and it was blowing out lovely cold air. Dashboard directly in front, simple, easy, legible dials as Honda tend to do. Keep it sort of minimalist, which I really like. Steering wheel looks pretty and feels pretty much as new in hand. Lovely small diameter wheel as well, feels nice and dinky on the move. But all the switches, all the gauges working exactly as intended. The one button you'll notice is absent from the car, because it doesn't have one, is for four-wheel drive, albeit it is a four-wheel drive car. But Honda very quickly worked out that most people would drive as I am today in perfectly good conditions. So unlike permanent four-wheel drive systems, which will use more fuel, put more mechanical stress on the car, and eat up its tyres more quickly, this is just running in two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive pretty much the whole time. Very clever indeed. As and when it needs to go into four-wheel drive, it will do so itself. So if you imagine, going across a muddy field or on ice or snow, your front wheels momentarily lose grip, it instantly brings in the four-wheel drive far quicker than you could press a button, for instance. And it's seamless. It's absolutely brilliant. The simplicity of the system, by the way, also gives it its reliability, because we've never so much as put a spanner on one in over 20 years selling cars using this system. It's absolutely brilliant. As I said at the start of the video, the point, albeit brief as it may be, is just to show the car in operation and to feedback on any issues. There's nothing at all. It drives absolutely beautifully, and I've driven thousands of these cars, so I know a good one, and this one drives perfectly. However, though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call, and we'll happily answer any questions you might have.